Hi, this is Derek, and I am doing a review for the horror movie VHS for horrornerds.com. Again, this is for horrornerds.com, where you can get all your wonderful reviews of the latest and greatest, as well as some of the classics of horror movies, and all honest reviews by people just like myself. Well, what is there to say about VHS? For one, it is a collection of 5 short horror stories, all done in the Blair Witch Project format, namely found recorded footage, that sort of thing. It's been done to death since the Blair Witch came out, but nevertheless, this film does work for me on a few different levels. I will get to why in a moment. I will say that as a side note, if you're interested in the found footage genre of horror movies, the ones that really stick out to me, aside from Blair Witch, because despite what you may think about Blair Witch, that movie does kind of work, just for the sheer fact that it was original, even if you do consider, or not consider, shaky hand cams in a forest original, it was, any way you look at it. Not to mention it was a box office triumph, but as for later years, the only other one that has ever worked for me is the Japanese film Noroi, which means the curse. And if you want a movie that will completely freak you out, and is done extremely well, it is the fake documentary, I should say. Sorry, it's the fake documentary Noroi. The Curse. So please go check that out, and while you're at it, check VHS out. And what will you be checking out with VHS? Well, rather simply, the 5 stories all come about because basically a group of heathen thugs who really enjoy terrorizing things and recording it on VHS like most gents will do. They get an offer, of course, to get extra money way past what they're doing, which up to this point was basically trying to assault girls, get them to show their tits, and then, sell that as reality porn. But they get an offer through one of their friends mentioning that if they go into this house and steal VHS tape, boom, they're going to get tons of money. So they do. They go in, and this place is inhabited by a very dead old man on the chair, or is he? And enormous amounts of VHS tapes, and one by one, each one of the individuals in the house, they tend to look at the VHS tapes. They disappear after doing so, and then you of course learn why, how, when, and where, and to their deaths by the end of the film. What this movie does not do is offer you explanations or reasons as to how the VHS footage even got there in the first place, nor how any of the footage survived whatever had happened, but you go with it. You kind of allow yourself a moment to just say, okay, kind of adds to the scary nature, because usually when we don't know why something happens, that can add to the fear effect. And on some level it works here, because it would be kind of freaky if you entered upon a house full of crazy VHS tapes and basically were filled with nothing but snuff murders and whatnot. So, especially of the supernatural kind that almost all of them kind of possess. I would say that in that respect, there is one story on here that is out of order. Namely, it is the second honeymoon story. I didn't feel it had its place at all on this film. It could have been maybe as part of a deleted scene or a deleted footage found if you were looking at the VHS or DVD release. Also, too, as a side note, the DVD extended release edition isn't worth your time to check out, because the final one, the 10/31/98 short, where you have a group of gentlemen going to a supposed Halloween party at the wrong house, end up interrupting a cult meeting of sorts, rescuing a girl that seemingly was going to be sacrificed in a cult meeting, only to find out they were probably ridding the world of the necessary evil that this girl represented, as she proceeds to lock all these guys in the doors of their car as they rescued her, and boom, kill them all through an oncoming train. But in the extended scene, they escape, which kind of added a sort of like, why even put that in there when all the other stories had such a fatalistic endings to them? So cut that out. And I would say cut out the second honeymoon, and you have a collection of nice supernatural stories. My particular favorite was Amateur Night, the very first one, in which three guys take two girls back to a hotel room after, meeting them at a bar and wanting to have sex with them, of course, as any man would probably do in that situation, unfortunately. But in this case, it comes back to terribly haunt them and destroy them all. The one girl that they took back, Lily, was extremely messed up, and obviously by the end of the short you realize she's some kind of winged bat vampire type. It worked though because she was so creepy. Her eyes were so bugged out that it was freaking me out when I was watching it, and also too, she played the role perfectly, and so did each of the people, each of the guys that were in there, including the geek who was wearing the glasses with the video cam. That was another thing about this. I liked how they sort of switched it up with how the cameras were being shown, namely the Amateur Night had the geek with the glass camera, kind of like very spy-ish, which I liked, and also on 10/31/98, one of the individuals that was killed in the train wreck, or not killed, depending on if you watch the extended version of the DVD or not, he was dressed up as a nanny cam teddy bear, which I thought was very creative on the part of the directors. So why does this work? In a nutshell, it works very simply for me because each one of the stories sort of did have kind of a real brutal edge to them, no holds bar. The blood for once finally looks real in a movie. I don't know why horror directors can't find real looking blood, but blood definitely looked real. It looked very appropriate. When the geek tried to escape and fell down the steps in the Amateur Night one, when he busted his hand, the bone was sticking out. It looked extremely real, as did the blood, and I like that. I like that the fact that the VHS footage also lends itself to that realistic feel. I mean, it was like kind of watching them do the best that they could, giving the storylines that they had, and it also felt not scripted. I don't think there was a single script in this. The directors probably told them, hey, just act, just, here's the story, go with it, and it was done very well, extremely well, actually. So in that sense, it passes for me. It was enjoyable in that sense. It wasn't a waste of time like most horror movies of the found footage variety are, and if you get a chance, check out VHS, because there's definitely going to be one of those will scare you. And also as a side of some of the other ones, the sick thing that happened to Emily story is particularly brutal, and I won't give away what happens in case you haven't seen it, but let's just put it this way. I'll never look at Skyping the same way again, or instant chat, however you want to look at it. Anyways, this has been a review for HorrorNerds.com. I wish you all well. Keep checking out all the wonderful reviews here at this website, and also check out mine too, and on this website, and many more to come. So hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.